Hey everybody, it's Friday. Get your popcorn, crack a beer, for those of you who like doing that sort of thing. Here we go. Probably be a shorter video today. Uh, we'll carry on from last week something. We had a member on the forum, Mark, you know who you are, asked a question about, with the bird baths that I made, a couple of them, if I put legs on them. But what I do is I always make a ridge like this. A lot of guys, they like bringing their flange from the top out sideways. I think I talked about this before, so that they have something to pry on to get it out. But because I put the foam center in these, I can go vertical, right? So what I do is I make sure that I have an inner and outer flange that's quite heavy. So this is going to be the support, and that's why it's important to try and get a good level off. That's why I use the laser level, because this will be the base. So you're just pouring straight onto that, and there's no need for legs. So it's things to think about ahead of time when you're making something, to think about how you can deal with the flange and get away with not having to have legs on it. So and they stand up great. They take a beating on the V table and no big problems. So we'll just go over here. These two have all gotten there. You can see in behind their layers of the black rubber crumb. That's a 50-50 mix with the latex. Thick. You go through the latex like crazy because you're putting it on, applying really thick between a brush and a trowel, like you're trying to fill in undercuts and windows a bit. I don't like going too deep with it, but just so you don't need to do any fancy fiberglass work after. Finally got some rubber going on the reclining Buddha. We talked about it last week, but we didn't have any rubber on it. So you can see the red color. I cleaned it up, I wire brushed it, and then I put 2 coats of red oxide primer on it, and as well 2 coats of shellac on top of that. And I let it sit a couple days. I don't like to rush getting the paint and shellac and then doing it the next day. I like to give it a couple days to dry good, because what happens sometimes, you get that stuff comes off in your rubber, and then it comes off, but you got to deal with it and wash it and flick at it and scrub it. But anyways, that was a couple days sitting, and then onto the rubber. So you can see there's a vent here and a vent under the arm. So, you know, of course we're doing that so to create a good flow, so you're not going to get a bunch of bug holes, especially like on the side of the face. You'd see it quite clearly if you did a pour and that wasn't there. So you're trying to alleviate that issue there. So there's 2 there, and I've got 2 on the back side, one on the back of his hand and another one by the shoulder over here. And you can see there's a big window there and a window there, and 1 seam, and just a short seam back here on the feet, and it'll just open up from the bottom out. So should come out nice, I hope. Should be an easy pull on that one. Looking forward to it. I am going through the rubber. Let's see, this is coat 5 on this one. He's going to be getting, or as soon as I finish the video, I'm going to be doing a black rubber coat on him. I usually wait till coat 5 or 6 before I put on. The Ganesha and the big Venus statue, they're both on, I think, coat 12. And people are always wondering how much rubber is that. So for these big models, right, so that's 24 and then plus the 5 on here. And this was a fresh bucket here, so I've only got about this much left in the bucket, so you can see what you're going through. It's a fair bit of rubber, you know, and you're talking, depending on who you get your rubber from, anywhere from $180 for that 5 gallon up to $210 I've paid for a 5 gallon. You know, that's delivered, that's including the shipping. So yeah, be prepared. It's going to cost you a little bit of money. So obviously I'm going to have to crack another bucket before I get over these, because her in the back there is about 30, over 30 coats. He's about 25, and this one will be about 25 as well, I think. So yeah, you're going through a fair bit of rubber. It's a bit of cash outlay, but the thing about the bigger the statues is, when you run a business, is the higher the price, right? You can sell it for, you can retail it for. So it doesn't take you very long to get your money back. So think about that too. Like if you're doing little tiny, which sell well, little tiny glove molds, you know, like the little guys over here, you know, you're selling from 5 to 10, you know, 25, 30 bucks max usually on a small one. These ones, you're into the hundreds, right? So it doesn't take you long to get your money back on something like this. But something to consider when you're doing this sort of thing, if you're looking at it as a business. So these are the pots. Remember the hand-packed pots? I think I showed them last week. So I did a few just yesterday. I did some more to try and fulfill the order for the customer. I think I just got one more batch to go for her. Like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I quite like them. It's sort of a trend, this dry pack, or the coarse look sort of thing for doing succulents especially. It's really growing on me. I quite like it. You get quite fast at it. So this has the iron oxide powder. That's what the black is, plus the little cracks and crevices created when you do a hand pack. I've covered it before, I think, hand packing models, molds. But you can go, if you want to see it, you can go on to buddyrhodes.com, and he does a hand pack method he does countertops, he does big pots, he does all kinds of furniture and things using this hand pack method. Lots of ways. You've seen I've done it before, and I've gone back in with a slurry and filled in the voids, and then you diamond polish that out. Looks very nice. I usually do a half a dozen or so big pots like that a year. I think I'm going to do more this year. So these are ones just for the store that I got, and I've sent some already. Now, some people, you might think, do you put fibers in the mix? I don't put fibers in the mix, because when you're doing the voids, the purposeful voids like that, you're going to get pieces of fiber showing up, and you're going to have to burn them all off, and you probably won't get them all, and I don't quite like the look. But littler pots like this, you don't have to worry about too much, because you're still keeping about an inch thickness at the top and for your base as well. But what I did with this one was the first taller one. As soon as I get taller, I move on to adding some AR scrim, and we've talked about this a lot before. So I'll just pre-measure one up for height-wise, and I cut a circle one and I put it down in the bottom, and that it comes up the side, so it'll join with your other one, right? And so I put my dry pack in first, and then I'll go back with a thinner batch, and I'll just do a quick slurry sort of a thing over top of the AR scrim. Like you can see, there's lots of it in there, but you can't see it. It's all hidden in there. And it just toughens it up, so that'll be a safer winter sort of a pot. I'm going to try making some really big ones this year with this. Now, the beauty with these sort of things is you don't have to go out and buy any expensive molds, or I'll just show you what I used. So this one here is just this bucket. It's a chlorine bucket from one of the neighbors here in the complex. So just a bucket. Here's this one here. Just a little cheap little plastic bowl. So you can either use, PAM vegetable spray in there, or I use the metal ones, I use PAM, and then plastic, I just use the same isopropyl alcohol and castor oil. But you can see you don't need anything expensive to run out. You can go to a little dollar store and pick up some really cheap plastic pot and hand pack them, and you have a great looking finished pot. Like you can use anything, like these little guys here. These are kind of cool. These are just little, I think I bought this at a second-hand store for 25 cents. And same like a little plastic bunt pan. and it's ready to go, and you've got instant little pots for cheap. So that's it. It's 10 minutes on the dot here, so we'll give it a wrap. Anybody got any questions, feel free to ask in the down below, and I'll put a few links. Maybe I'll put a link to Buddy Rhodes for the dry pack stuff you can take a look at. Any questions, feel free, gang, and we'll see you again next week.